Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Otafu Susume, or Recommendations from My Otaku Spouse. I'm Wesley.
And I'm Jen.
So let's get started. We have an interesting recommendation today.
And why is that?
Because, we both did it.
We both did what?
The recommendation.
Ah.
The recommending.
Yes. Yes, we did.
The act of recommending was done by the two of us.
To each other.
Which
separately, but at the same time.
Which is somewhat fitting.
Hmm.
Yes. Should we tell them what we're doing?
I think they probably guessed from the title.
Dang it. This is about the video game It Takes Two.
Yeah, we both saw the advert or or some kind of trailer. I think we saw different trailers for it.
You saw a trailer, and I saw two people from a Discord that I know playing it on Twitch.
Right. And we both went to each other.
And we're like, hey, I saw this cool video game that we should play together.
Yes. Because it's a co-op game. And we apparently like each other and we like video games. So we should play it together.
Suspicious. No, wait, that's another video game.
What?
Never mind. It's okay.
Okay. So yeah, we decided to try out It Takes Two. And we were kind of between video games. And I was umming and ahhing what to do. And then a coworker said, oh, hey, It Takes Two is on sale. I was like, well, I could either get it off of Amazon Japan for 6,000 yen, which is $60.
USD.
Or we could just buy it off the PlayStation Store on sale for $30.
Half off.
So yeah, that's what we did. And then we started playing it, and then we didn't stop.
There's a lot of twos in this intro, which is fitting for It Takes Two.
Okay.
You have a price that's half off. You have a game that takes two. You have people seeing it and both recommending it.
We
Or a
both thought...
Batman villain.
What? What?
The Two-Face.
I guess.
Two-Face always does things that comes in twos because he's Two-Face.
Okay.
And now we're like that.
And I was going to say, we also thought of very different songs when every time we say It Takes Two.
It takes two. I thought one was enough. It's not true. It takes two of us. That's the only song I know.
And I'm like, it takes two, me and you. No.
I don't know that song. No.
What? How do you... Wait, seriously. Are you putting my leg?
I have no idea what you're saying now.
Okay, I'm going to play it to you later on YouTube.
No, seriously, what song are we talking about?
I don't know the name of it. It just has the line, It Takes Two. And you're singing, I'm pretty sure more people think of the one I just sang than they do of the song from Into the Woods.
Into the Woods is amazing, though.
It is.
And the song's amazing. So we started the game and we didn't stop.
Yeah, we started the game and we didn't stop playing. And which is
we did
rare.
Stop playing. We stopped for work and for food.
And for sleep.
And for sleep.
Yeah, but only because we had to.
Darn work making us go.
I know. No, it was crazy though, because I haven't played a game nonstop like that in years. And I know I sound like such an old woman saying that, but it's true.
Yeah, usually, you'll kind of play a game for a while and be like, that was fun. And you'll sit it down and you'll come back to it a couple days later and you'll play some more and you'll be like, that was fun. But to just be like, hey, we've eaten dinner and we don't have to sleep yet. We're playing video games, right?
Right.
Right?
Right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we pretty much played it. I think we started Saturday.
Okay.
And we finished it Thursday.
Did we?
Yes. We played pretty much for half of the day Saturday, half the day Sunday, and then every single time I came home when we finished dinner.
That's true. We even missed a few Skype calls because of it.
Yes, we did. Oops.
It's fine. We were having couples therapy, which is very important in any healthy relationship.
It is.
Dr. Hakim says so.
So we should probably explain what It Takes Two is about. We've just said that it's this amazing game that we couldn't stop playing, and the two of us play it. So it's a two-player split-screen game about a couple who are going through a divorce, and their daughter wishes that they would be friends again and that they would fall in love again. And then they wake up and they're suddenly dolls with a magical book telling them, hey, you need to work together in order to break this, whatever it is that's happened to you.
So we're probably going to put this in the show notes, but also there's going to be spoilers about the game in this. So if you didn't read the show notes and you're listening to it, yes, we're going to talk about some spoilers. So if you're at all interested in the game, I highly recommend you just go play it.
Which
and
is
then
why
listen to us talk.
I wanted to do an introduction and then go.
Oh.
Go play it.
Oh.
We're 100% going to spoil everything. So if you have any interest and you have somebody that you love, or someone that you tolerate, or someone you enjoy playing games with.
It has an online co-op, but I really do think it'd be a lot better to play. I mean,
in
play
person.
it online with someone who you know, but because I think this is definitely not a game you want to do just
with a random
hugging
stranger.
with a rando.
Yeah. I don't think you can. Well, I honestly don't know if you can
play
it with a rando. because we only played it together.
Yes.
But yes, 100% go play this game and then come back and listen to the rest of this podcast if you haven't. And if you don't care about spoilers, then
Listen to the podcast and then go play the game.
yes. But either way, go play the game.
Yes. Agreed.
Especially because I looked it up, and on Metacritic, it has an industry rating of 88
Okay.
and a user rating of 9.1.
That's pretty good.
It's really good. It rated better than a couple of other big hits that came out this year.
Well done for them.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think they deserve it. It's not perfect in every way, and it has faults, so we'll probably get to. But it was thoroughly entertaining.
So much fun. Both story-wise and gameplay-wise, I think.
Yes.
So, should we get into it?
Let's do it. So we've got our divorcing couple.
Yes.
They're now puppets.
Yes.
Being tortured by a magical book.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate description. Yeah.
Yes. The book being the Dr. Hakim that I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Renowned expert of love who is helping couples work through their problems.
He is a character. Actually, the voice actor who voiced the husband, Cody, also voiced the book, Dr. Hakim.
Yeah, you told me that when we were watching the credits, and I did not hear it while playing.
No, I couldn't tell at all. It was kind of funny. I think the actress who played the wife, May, just played her. So a large bulk of the game it's a split screen 2-player game. And actually, I wanted to ask you, when was the last time you played a split screen 2-player game?
Mario Kart.
Okay, when was the last time you played that?
You don't play Mario Kart with me because you don't like to play 2-player games.
I don't like to play competitive 2-player games, correct. Most 2-player games are competitive and I hate them because I always lose and it's not fair and you're laughing at me. This is why I don't play games with you.
I'm only laughing a little bit.
See,
it would be Mario Kart.
I like this because it was a cooperative game.
And you know what's unfair about Mario Kart?
What?
The last time you played Mario Kart was with someone who wasn't me. You cheated on me in Mario Kart and haven't played it with me since.
I don't remember the last time I played Mario.
I do, because it struck me so hard that you were willing to play 2-player split screen games with someone else.
Who? When?
It was with Kenny
Oh, is it?
at KomoriCon.
Oh, yeah.
Like 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did play it with Kenny.
I know, because I helped you by distracting Kenny so you could win.
Aw, thank you. See, I like that kind of cooperation. I'd completely forgotten about that. I'm sorry.
That is honestly the last time I played a split screen game. With modern consoles, everything being multiplayer over the internet, you don't get them as much. Even the games that used to be like that, like, you know, when I was a kid, just so many different games. Any shooter was a split screen game. GoldenEye, Halo, whatever, Perfect Dark. But it just slowly went away. And shooters now, if you want to play multiplayer, you're pretty much stuck doing it over the internet. Fighting games were never split screen.
And even then, I don't think you don't get many cooperative games.
It's true.
They're mostly, like you said, competitive.
And when you do get something cooperative like that, it's usually not the main gameplay mode. Like we were talking about Portal 2.
Yeah.
Had the entire sub-story where you play as the testing robots, and that was a co-op.
Yeah, that was fun. I think that's probably the closest comparison in terms of games, like co-op games.
It's two people working together with strange abilities to solve puzzles. So, kind of on the nose.
There's also, when we recommended this game to another friend of ours, she said, oh, have you played A Way Out? Which is a cooperative 2-player game where you I've never played it, so forgive me if I get this wrong, but I think you break out of prison, or you have to do some kind of heist together. But it's made by the same studio who made It Takes Two.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we should give it a look.
And their first game is a game called Brothers, which is a single-player 2-player game. So you're playing two brothers, but you're using one controller, and one half of the controller is one brother, and the other half of the controller is the other brother. So it's a 2-player game that you can play as a single person.
Interesting.
I've always wanted to play that, but I haven't gotten around to it yet, and now I feel like I should because It Takes Two was so good. But you can see how they kind of built upon their ideas, and they're really building on their strengths, and now they've kind of polished it into this really strong gameplay.
They've kind of made their niche.
Yeah, 100%.
We've taken some single-player games and turned them into co-op games. We did that with Death Boat, and we did that with The Witness.
Death Boat. The Return of the Obra Dinn.
That's what I said.
Yes, we did.
And those worked pretty well.
Yeah.
But this definitely gave both players more freedom. Like a surprising amount of freedom, actually. Playing through it, there's what you're supposed to do, and then there's what you can do. And what you're supposed to do, like if you were to do a Venn diagram here, what you're supposed to do, it would just be a very small circle and a very large circle of what you can do. And I really enjoyed that. It reminded me a lot of playing some of those old 3D platformer games, like when they were first coming out and being a thing.
Yeah, you could easily storm through this game and miss so much of it.
Yes.
But not in terms of like because some games when you have an adventure game and you go off the beaten path and you get some kind of like, you're rewarded with an ability or like an item. In this, if you go off the beaten path, you're just rewarded with more whimsical joy.
An experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Which I really liked.
And I also enjoyed that a lot of the game made sense.
In a weird, nonsensical way, yes.
Yes, but like if you saw something and you're like, oh, I wonder if I can, the answer was probably yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
like, can I throw snowballs at these people? Yes, I can.
And they will throw them back.
And they will throw them back.
Or like when we first saw a piggy bank. And
there was no, that made me cry. That was so mean.
So there's a piggy bank and there's a bunch of coins around, and we're like, oh, hey, look, you can actually pick up the coins and put them in the piggy bank, and you don't get anything for doing it. You just kind of hear the little clink, and the piggy bank goes,
and the piggy's like, yay, I'm happy.
And then when you fill up the piggy bank, he kind of rolls onto his back. And I went, hey, I wonder, because what would happen if you ground pound the piggy bank and it shatters and the coins go everywhere.
And I was like, no, I loved it, you piggy. I loved it, you.
And it's dead.
No, it was so cute. I was actually crying. I was like, that was such a cute pig. I was even about to say, oh my God, that pig is adorable, when you went, bam. And I went, psh. Like, no. And then I found out that you needed to smash it anyway for a trophy. So we had to do it again.
Yeah, but I wasn't looking at it as I wonder if I get something for
no,
this.
You were I wonder if I can.
You smash piggy banks in real life in stories. I mean, it had a quirk there that in real life you just pop the cork out and take the coins. But, in TV shows or comics or whatever, it's always smash the piggy bank to get the coins. I'm like, I wonder, and then it worked.
Yeah.
And there's just little bits like that throughout the whole thing that, I mean, there was the other bit, we're on a pig thing here, but there's the other bit where you're like, hey, look, you can feed these pigs.
Oh yeah,
and we
you
fed
can feed
some
the
pigs, and we fed them all the way to the slaughterhouse where there was some people sitting outside enjoying sausages.
And we were like, no. More death to piggies. Seriously, the developers have a thing against pigs. It's just they must hate pigs.
Pigs didn't want to be eaten. They wouldn't be delicious.
They're so delicious. So actually, that's one thing I really enjoyed about this game. Not the pigs. They were adorable too. Was the fact that every single section, like, there were bits where you'd get to an area and it was just, you could just play around.
Yes.
You could just have fun, and it wasn't anything. It was like, press a button and this does something, or you can paint a picture and then stick it up on a wall. You can set off rockets and they'll just go whizzing off and explode. You can just, I think one of the reasons it took us so long to kind of get through the game was that there were sections where we just both stopped wanting to carry on the story. We just wanted to play.
Yes.
And that was really nice. I honestly felt like a kid again, just playing with these toys and playing in this environment. And it was just like, we did the Tower of, I forget what it's called, like
the Hell Tower.
The Hell Tower. And we were working on that for probably a good 30 minutes. Just being like, trying to jump up this cursed tower and kept falling off. I'm glad we did it in the end. It was fun. But it was things like that just really made the game extra special, because it was all the extra tiny little details that they put in, and they really allowed the players to interact with the game in a way that you normally wouldn't.
Yes.
Like, I'm playing Monster Hunter Rise right now, and there are lots of really adorable tiny details in the animation in the town. Like, you see the characters moving location, you can see them reacting to things in their environment, but you can't really interact with those actions.
Yeah.
You can only watch. And it's cute little details, but it's you're one step removed. Whereas I feel like in this, like you said,
you can go do it.
You can go do it. You can go do something normally.
Yeah.
And if it's something you can't interact with, then they won't bring attention to it.
Yeah.
Like I was going to ask you, what was your favorite level?
I really liked the music level. Oddly enough, I think it had some of the least amount of freedom, as you're saying. But I think as a whole, it was very well designed, and I loved how the music played into it, and it had all the different types of music as you went through the different areas. I mean, there was one bit where we'd done a puzzle and you were moving on to the next one, and you're like, wait, Wes, go. And I zoned out because I was listening to the music that was playing. I was like, oh, wait, yeah, okay, I'm still here. Let's do this. And I really enjoyed that.
I guess I wonder if it's because you like that kind of... Well, I mean, like I said, they had different kinds of music, but it was definitely music aimed at adults that are probably grew up in the 80s.
I didn't grow up in the 80s.
You didn't grow up in the 80s, but you like the music of people who did. You have an older taste in music.
Fine.
It's not a bad thing.
But it was just, and there was like bits, we were talking about how you just want to do things. And so there was one bit in the music level where you walk into a room and there's 3 samplers sitting out in front of you.
And you were just pressing buttons.
And I immediately go over and start being like, okay, let's play with the samplers to make a tune or something. Because you've got the 3 and you can cut them up in different ways. You got one on like a drum loop and one doing a regular synth. And maybe 2 doing a synth, one doing a high and one doing a bass synth and the drums. And you can make this cool sample, and we're doing it. And you were doing it too. And I'm like, yeah, this is fun. And then, like, but you were doing it because it's how you open the next door.
Yes.
And I didn't even realize it's how you
You
open the
didn't
next
realize
door.
you were playing with a puzzle.
I wasn't playing with a puzzle at all. I was just saying, okay, well, let's do this with the synth. And you can hear how it's influencing the music in the background. And you're like, okay, we got the door open. I'm like, wait, what we do?
I was just playing around. Yeah, you actually said I was just playing around. Were we actually doing something?
Yeah. Afterwards, I saw like these lit up tubes and all these things going in places. And I was like, oh, were we supposed to be doing something specific? Or
And then my favorite level was the snow globe.
The snow globe was fun too.
The snow globe was fun. Like the fact that you get to skate around and slide around, and it had, I think the music was really, really good, and I really, really liked it in the snow globe level. And just again, I think the snow globe level also had a couple of areas you could explore and really play around in. And there was an underwater section which had probably the most terrifying part of the game with an anglerfish. And then you have the frozen town sections where you could go around and like throw snowballs at people. You could eat cakes off of stands that were sitting around. You could do snow angels.
Yeah.
And just
you go on a sleigh ride.
It was fun. Yeah. And I just really liked the game had a really good mixture of like environment puzzles and like I don't know what, like slidey puzzles, like things where you had to run away from things, or you had to slide down things, or you had like obstacle courses.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Speaking of, one of the things that I really liked about the game is that except for like one section that comes to mind, the basic mechanics are pretty much the same the whole way through. Jump, double jump, dash. And then, but each, like, on its own, you'd be like, okay, that's fine. That's what Mario's been doing for years. But then for each level, they'd add in something different. And each character got something different as well.
Yes.
That would somehow interact with each other that you could use to make fun, exciting puzzles. But I love how they introduced those abilities each time. Because you'd lose them in an organic way based on the story, and then you'd gain them. Sometimes it would just be the book playing games on you or whatever. But you'd get the new ability, and then they always did a really good job at introducing them.
Yeah.
It'd be just it was never, like, there wasn't really a tutorial screen that would pop up. It'd be like, okay, you've got magnets. And then there'd be, you'd come up to a door and you'd be like, okay, wait, I've got the opposite color magnet, so I can attract this door open. You've got the same colored magnet, you can repel this one, or just things like that. And you'd have these little miniature puzzles that worked, as I said, based on how you'd think they would. And then as the level went on, you'd be using those same mechanics in more elaborate ways as the puzzles got more and more difficult and more dangerous. And so it just felt like it grew so organically. It wasn't just this is how you do this. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the one, though, that made me just absolutely laugh was the one that broke the game the most.
Which one?
Because I was saying, the basic thing was always like kind of a jump, double jump, dash type thing. But then there's the one bit where all of a sudden you get thrown at a dungeon and you pop out and you're in a top-down isometric.
Yes, that was so good.
Gauntlet Legends dungeon crawl, where one of the characters is now an ice mage and the other one is a warrior with a flaming sword. And you just go through and all your buttons are now attack buttons and you're fighting off guards. And it felt like playing Gauntlet Legends again. And it was so much fun.
So much fun.
It even ended in like a full-on FF14 style MMO boss fight
Oh, with the chess set.
with a chess set.
Yeah, that was
Where
fun.
you've got like pieces appearing that move like chess pieces and interacting with the board, and the bosses themselves are moving around, but they're the king and the queen, so they move like chess pieces.
Yeah, I really liked how the pieces actually moved as if chess pieces would work.
Yeah,
Except for the
knights.
the knights.
Yeah, but it
was really well done.
it was so clever.
I'm not too sure what my favorite mechanic was because they were all so much fun. And I think one of the great things about this is now we can replay the game but swap characters and probably get a completely different experience.
Yes.
Because they definitely made sure that every character, that you had parts where you worked together and you had parts where you had to work apart from each other. But it always came back and there was also a lot of us having to communicate both in-game and out of game in order to solve things, in order to progress. Or even just bantering, like the characters would banter and we would banter, and then sometimes we would predict what the characters were going to say because we were bantering as well.
I mean, it helped that the wife in the game was British and the husband in the game was American.
Yes. Yes, I like that little touch. It's just like us. Only we're actually in a happy relationship instead of about to get a divorce.
Oh, about that.
What? No!
No.
And we don't have kids.
That's true.
And we don't have a nice house with a big garden.
We've got a nice apartment.
We do, but it doesn't have a big garden with a tree house or
We've got a little
squirrels.
garden across the way that's tended to by the local old ladies who live in the other flats in the apartment.
True.
And there are feral cats that live everywhere, and they're pretty cute.
I wish we could pet them.
They don't like to be pet, no. I saw a cute orange one, just completely ignoring the barbed wire on the top of the wall, just walking along, having a great time.
Cats are so weird.
Yes.
So anyway, back to the game.
Back to the game.
Back to the game.
There was no orange cat in the game.
So I guess we'll probably start going into spoiler territory.
I mean, we've given some anyway.
Yes. I mean, in terms of gameplay, yes. But in terms of story, what did you think of the story?
I really enjoyed it. So as I said, I saw 2 people playing this on Twitch, which is what made me be interested. And I logged onto the Twitch and the game, they were playing the game, and I watched it, and I saw, what bit did I see? I saw them start to climb up the tree.
Okay.
So that's after you get out of the basement pretty early on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them do that, and I went, the characters are already bantering, the players themselves were bantering, whatever, and I went, oh no, I want to play this with Jen. And I closed the Twitch because I didn't want to see any more of it.
Yay.
Because I wanted it to be fresh when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And so just that much, not even presented as a trailer, not a hype package or whatever, just 2 people enjoying themselves playing a small portion of the game was enough to me go, this is what I want.
So then, were you expecting anything from the story?
So I came in with the only thing I knew was that it looked cute.
Mm-hmm.
And so the story was completely out of left field for me. I was not expecting that to be the plot at all. And it touches on very mature themes.
Yeah.
And I think it does so in a very good way.
Yeah, I think it handled... So the whole thing is the book's trying to get these 2 to kind of work together and to communicate with each other and to try and... Not necessarily try and work out their differences, but try and kind of see things from each other's perspective.
Remember why you fell in love with him in the first place.
Yeah, but it's a very slow burn.
Yes.
And I was really surprised. I think I looked up average gameplay is between 12 and 18 hours for this game.
Okay.
I'm not actually sure how long it took us to play, but I was really surprised at how long the game was.
Yeah.
I was expecting a 10-hour game. And this was double that, almost.
I never felt like the game was too long, which was good. There's definitely times when games overstay their welcomes. Mm-hmm. Go listen to our FF7 remake podcast for that. But I also, it was definitely longer than I thought.
But like I said, in a good way. So the first chapter is them kind of working together because they have to. And actually, I don't think they're like blaming each other for things and insulting each other. Or probably all the way up to probably about 70% of the way through the game. And that's when they start realizing, oh, actually...
You see the insults go to banter as the game progresses.
Yeah.
But it's not like a switch is flipped at one point.
No, it's very natural.
Yes, which I think is... Because, I mean, you and I banter a lot.
Yeah, as people may have noticed from the podcast.
I don't know. And there's a definite difference between banter and insult, but it is easy to stray from one to the other because it's not a clear-cut line all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that the writers for this, and then the actors as well in portraying it, did a great job in showing that blend.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the book thrown in to kind of just mess with them every step of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because we're talking about jokes between the character and weird, strange situations and everything. But then the book kind of also does play the comedic lightning because it can be a really heavy topic. And then the book is there to kind of be that quick step away, have a breather, and jump back in.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think one of my favorite lines was when May goes, what was it? That's blackmail. And the book goes, no, that's therapy.
Yeah.
Because he does actually end up, like, strapping them down to a sofa with giant wedding rings.
Well,
giving them...
Yes.
They look like a giant wedding ring.
They were wedding rings, but they're also small dolls, so I don't know how giant they were.
True. Okay, in comparison. And then giving them basically forced couples therapy. And just, the book was such a weird character. I could empathize a lot with the characters because at the first the book was just annoying.
Yes.
And then he becomes endearing, and then you kind of like him by the end. You're like, damn it. I didn't want to like you, but I do.
Well, there's a great line when May turns to Cody and she's like, what, are you two a team now? And he goes, yes, if it'll get you to sing.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I would 100% team up with someone against Jen if it convinced her to do something that she loves to do but was scared to do.
You're a terrible person. You're a terrible, wonderful person.
How dare I?
How dare you?
You'd do the same to me.
Yeah, I would. But you said earlier that there was that you had some critiques.
Oh, yeah, I do. The game itself is a joy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way the two main characters as their puppet forms are rendered and how they just move so very differently and how they interact with everything. The two of them almost never are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the one time that maybe they have the same animation is when you're on either side of like
something to turn
and you're pushing it.
Yeah.
But almost everything else, Cody is much larger and he'll hang from things where May would sit on them. Like when you're on like a, what's it called?
Like a hang glider.
A hang glider or anything like that. The way he runs, the way May runs, just everything the characters did was different.
I love how Cody runs. He's got like his arms flinging behind him, just going blah, blah, blah in the wind.
Yep. And what they do is all very fit to their characters. And I feel like a lot of characters you interact with, like the book himself is just completely over the top in how he acts. And just everything, the squirrels, the wasps, the bees, the weird plants, the frogs, Moon Baboon, the guards that I mentioned before, all little Playmobil guards, just the weird octopus that you fight, the Kraken.
Oh, yeah.
Just so many characters have all these wonderful little enduring qualities to them, and they're all so different from each other, and it's great. And so you're saying, but Wesley, I asked you what you didn't like about the game.
Yes.
The humans were just completely lifeless. You don't really do much with them, except, I mean, you see them you never play as them. You see the two parents in the cutscenes more at the beginning and the end, and then you see the daughter throughout the game doing different things. They are completely lifeless, and it was so weird to me.
Yeah, I guess there wasn't much animation in their expressions compared to everything else.
Everything else. Like, I mean, the squirrels don't really make many facial expressions, but you can still, they felt more alive to me than the human characters. And part of it was just they moved slightly awkwardly, and it just felt like not as much care or time was put into the human characters. And so when half the cutscenes involved the daughter, I was like, it just felt weird.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I didn't mind how the humans looked too much. I thought it made sense because basically Cody and May are kind of in this fantasy world and kind of almost a reality separate from our own, but connected to it. So it made sense that it had a very different feel to it. And because we weren't actually playing as the humans, I didn't really care that much when the cutscene. Not as exciting as everything else that we'd been interacting with up to that point.
Fair enough. It just felt weird to me.
Fair enough.
The other bit is, and this is a really minor quibble, so take it as you will. There are a number, so in the exploring, there's a lot of things you can do while exploring that, as we've said, are just for the sheer joy of it. But you can also find a lot of mini games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's little...
Those are competitive.
They're competitive. It always pits May versus Cody in something or other. I don't think there's a single cooperative one on there.
Nope. Well, it's because the rest of the game is cooperative. It makes sense that they have a little bit of competition.
Yes. And some of them just didn't feel fully thought out.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you compared to how tight the rest of the game was. There was just some of them where you're like, well, we did it. I never want to do that one again.
Yeah. Like there's one mini game where you have to swing off some swings and go as far as you can, but the swing mechanic felt very janky and it was really hard to know when to jump. And so there were a lot of times when we were both like jumping into the negatives in the opposite direction. I was like, wait, but I pressed the button when I was like going in that direction, so surely I should have gone forwards, not backwards. What the heck?
Yeah.
Or the one where you throw balls into the mouths of
The
animals.
lizards, yeah.
And it was like, I threw that in there. Come on.
And that was also really similar to the one where you have to feed the larva. But I thought the one where you fed the larva worked a lot better. It's kind of like the basketball one where you could jump and throw and jump and throw. But I just felt that one worked, whereas the other one, it did feel like half the time you'd see it go in the mouth and it wouldn't register or something.
Mm-hmm. But I really enjoyed the diversity of the mini games.
Yes.
Like there was a lot of really clever mechanics that they thought of, like.
And I think they all fit into the levels where you find them as well. It's not just like, oh, we have to stick a game here. It's what fits in here.
Like there was one where you had to throw, what are they called? Nails.
Yep.
And at a target, and I had to hit the target with a hammer. But you could nail me down on the board, and I had to get out before I could hit anything else. It was really... And so we were both tackling the same mini game, but in different ways, using our abilities. That was fun.
Yeah. They just made them fit so well into different areas. I think the first mini game you find is whack-a-mole, but that's when your character had a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was me climbing into a box and trying to pop my head out, and
Cody.
You trying to whack me because you got the hammer anyway. And we were just all so clever.
I think the worst one was probably the video game one where you had to move along to the beat, but they only let you use the toggle stick, not the D-pad.
Yeah, that was annoying.
And we were both like, oh god, can one of us get to the end so this is over? Ooh, bling. And we were both like, can one of us get to the end before this is over? Like, to make this end, because,
Neither of us was having fun on that.
Neither of us was having fun with that one. One of the things I didn't like was how the game concluded.
Okay.
So this is major spoils. So if you are interested in it, then stop this now, because I am going to spoil the ending. I didn't like how the grand conclusion was May getting confidence in herself to sing in front of an audience again, because it's something that she loved, and Cody is encouraging her the whole way, being like, come on, you can do this. I really want to see you sing. I believe in you. But then in the very end, she's still nervous, and it's the book that consoles her, and it's the book that says, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to go up there and have fun. And I think that should have been Cody that encouraged her. And I think it should have been him that had that moment with her and not the book.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of the game is for them two to kind of have these connections. And then so she goes up there and she sings, but it's nothing special because she's been singing that song through the entire level, because her ability for that level is that she sings and shouts in order to open doors or stop things. So it's not a surprise when she starts singing the song that she sings, because you've already heard it several times throughout the level. But it's also not a song because it doesn't have any lyrics.
I guess the difference is before she's been more humming it, and now she's actually singing it. But that's really nitpicking.
Yeah, I mean, I am nitpicking.
No, I'm saying me saying that was really nitpicking.
We're both nitpicking.
We're the worst.
We're terrible.
No, I do feel the two characters could have had more closure at the end, because as I'm playing through it, that's what I was expecting. My big expectation was, to have the whole thing set up, but then for Cody to give her the out if she wanted.
Yeah.
To be more of a, I think you're really good at this, and I've always liked you singing, but you don't have to do it to prove anything, kind of that type of thing.
Yeah, that would have been good, because then it would have been her choice, and he would have been respecting her choice rather than forcing her to do it. Yeah,
and so that's kind of, as we were playing through that whole final section, that's kind of where I thought it was leaving. And then even if Cody had said what the book said, I still think that would have been good. But it was weird that it was the book and not Cody saying it.
Yeah. And I think also that the fact that the song didn't, so songs have very powerful, like they're just in general very powerful. Like when I think of, I know you've never played this, but the game To the Moon has a really, really powerful song at the end that still makes me cry. It's so good.
Everything makes you cry.
Everything makes me cry, but that's besides the point. And I think lyrics and songs can carry a lot of weight and a lot of meaning, and so the fact that she doesn't sing a song at the end, they kind of missed out on an opportunity there. I think they could have given the finale a lot more of an emotional, like, sucker punch if they'd actually had a song. But on the flip side, I can see why they didn't have it, and this is totally metagaming on my part, because the game was localized into a lot of languages, and localizing a song is really expensive because you have to find a singer in every language, and you have to get approval from the original songwriter in order to make sure you can use, like, translate the lyrics and have the lyrics approved. And it's just, I can see why they didn't give her an actual song with lyrics in order to save a lot of money, because it probably would have been really, really expensive for just this one bit. But I think it also took away from the ending at the same time.
You know, it would have been a good song.
What?
It takes two. I thought one was enough. It's not true. It takes two of us.
That's actually a good point. If she'd sung a song about it taking two, that would have been even better.
Yes.
Not necessarily that one because copyright, but yes.
But I like that song.
I know you like that song. You sing it all the time.
No, I think that's a very valid critique of the ending. I did like that they left it somewhat open-ended, though. Like,
we don't know if they're actually going to
go through the divorce or not.
Yeah.
It was whether or not they decide to do it, it will be made from, I feel, a more rational position. Whereas at the beginning of the game, it just feels like two people who are fed up and figuring it's the only decision.
Yeah.
And so I like that at the very least they realize that there's other options, and whatever they decide to do will be more healthy for both of them. Because sometimes divorce might be the right answer. But you want to be able to recognize that it's not the only answer, I think. And so I did enjoy that. Yeah,
100%. I wish it would have been interesting to see the conclusion, but like you said, I'm glad they left it open-ended, that they probably stay together, but you hope that they would have a lot of discussion about it. I was really worried actually that the whole thing would be a dream at the end and that they wouldn't remember anything that they experienced, which I guess would take away from the point of doing it.
Yeah. It was all a dream.
No, I hate it when people do that.
Yeah, those are the worst endings. Way to invalidate all the work I've put into this.
So I was even my nitpicking at the ending, I really enjoyed this game.
Yes.
Like, even after we finished and we were going back through and picking up trophies, we started playing in the kingdom again. And then we were like, oh yeah, we should probably stop playing because it's almost 11 o'clock at night.
And we're old and we have to go to bed.
Yeah, because we've got work and responsibilities.
Gross.
There was so many good parts of this game. I'm just remembering them and being like, yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was really fun. I like that bit.
One of my favorite parts of the game was entirely down to how you and I reacted to it.
Oh no, I know exactly the elephant one.
The elephant at the end of the kingdom when you go find Queen Cutie.
Queen Cutie, and you have to assassinate her.
You have to assassinate the queen, and they've figured that the only way that they can break this curse that's on them.
And then this elephant's like, no, don't kill me, no. You're like, oh jeez, why?
I don't want to play this game.
No, that's horrible. It breaks my heart.
And by that point, you've like ripped off one of her legs, and you're dragging her to the edge of a cliff to throw her off.
It's really
and the
horrible.
game like makes you drag her.
Yeah, you have
like,
to press
the whole
this
game
button.
is pretty fast, but you actually have to rapidly press the button so you can drag her because she's trying to grab onto things, and you get this new camera view, and it's just. It really pushes in the horror of what you're doing.
Yeah, you're a terrible parents. You're
And
a terrible people. You're terrible players. You're awful and you should feel bad.
Oh, it was the best part of the game to me. I mean, there's a lot of good parts of the game, but just how much work they put into making you realize the absolute horror of what you're doing was So good.
Because I was saying, no, this is the worst. And you're like, haha, this is hilarious.
I was laughing entirely at your reaction. Like, not even the game. The game was horrifying, but just your reaction and this little elephant voice going, no, we don't have to do this, please.
We can just be friends.
We can just be friends.
Don't kill me. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
You love Rose and I love Rose, and so we can just be friends.
It's horrible.
Oh, so
even
good.
the characters are like, no, this is awful. I feel so bad. I'm sorry, cutie, but you have to die. I was like, Jesus Christ. At least I'm really glad that in the, again, spoiler, post-credits scene, you see Cutie fixed up and she's okay. She's okay. Everything is fine.
And every time the parents walk into the room, she's sitting there going, they're the ones that killed me.
Yeah. That was fun.
So if you like dark horror with slight bits of comedy, dark horror and black comedy mixed together.
I don't think that's quite the tone of the game all the way through.
You want to bet? Boss 1, you rip its eyes out. Boss 2, you slowly dismantle it until you reveal its inner core to get it stabbed.
Oh no, but it is.
Boss 3, you drag them to a ledge and push them off.
I wouldn't say that was a boss fight.
Oh, it was post-boss fight. But even still. Sorry. Dramatic finish of the level.
I would say the game is more like a cooperative comedy with heavy undertones.
Dark horror, black comedy.
We interpreted this in very different ways.
It takes two.
You thought one was enough. It's not true. Anyway, so yeah, I highly recommend. I highly recommend this game if you haven't played it already, and if you haven't been put off by us spoiling absolutely everything.
I also recommend it. Go find a friend, go find a spouse, go find someone who you're close with, and play It Takes Two.
Or an unwilling rando on those streets. Drag them in.
No.
Strap them in. Strap them down to a chair.
With a giant wedding ring.
Oh dear.
Well, if you want to tell us why we're horrible people, you can leave comments on Twitter at AnnaBrosCreative.
Or on our website at annabroscreative.com.
We will hopefully see them and hopefully respond, but no guarantees.
And if you enjoyed this episode and know somebody that you like, maybe somebody else you played this game with who would also like this episode, then feel free to share it. That would be really cool.
It would be. Thanks for listening. I've been Wesley.
And I've been Jen.
Bye.
Bye.